Welcome to Wave Manga. I am Asian Manga in a solo leveling video. I guess we haven't done this one in a while. How long has it been since I've done a solo leveling video? Well, I think it was around when the orc showed up. Or at the beginning of the Architect arc, so let's see what I missed. Rulers, monarchs, giants, Japan, America, and a whole bunch of stuff, basically. Just to get this out of the way, I'm going to not be putting any images of this video because I don't want to get a copyright strike. Even doing a video may get a copyright strike. I'm just putting my toe into the water, basically, trying to get back into solo leveling content. Because I love solo leveling, the artwork, the story, the action, it's all good. It's just... Tabby Toons are a little tight on basically letting people do proper content on it. So I'm not going to be showing any panels, which will basically make it easier for me to edit this video. And that'll basically be the thing that makes it easy for me. I'm sorry, I've actually been liking how my videos have been turning out with adding the images into it. This video, no images, don't want to test Tabby Toons. Although, just follow the official release, I don't care. It's just best translations and good, just read solo leveling, I don't care. This is chapter 140, and Sung Jin-woo has just killed the S-rank gate, and he's still in Japan, and he's just wondering, what am I supposed to do for the next 2 hours, basically waiting for his plane to get ready to go back to Korea, or he might be going to America. I think he's going to Korea, see his family, and then a few days later he's going to... No, wait. I think, yeah, I think he just like teleported, because last chapter he helped out his best friend with his dad. I think he teleported there and then teleported back here, because if he just teleports around, I think people will lose track of where he is. So it's best he just stays in Japan. Although he does think about Cha when he's trying to think about what he's supposed to do when he's planning out before the plane gets there, and I guess he says, oh, I'm going to go find a dungeon to basically clear by himself, because I guess, yeah, basically half an hour, 2 hours for him to clear a dungeon. Any A ranks, yeah, an A rank gate would probably be like 2 hours at best for him to clear. And then this part of the chapter I love. Like the last 3 chapters, there's been this guy who Miss Selma from earlier in the series. When I was doing reviews, I'm just tapping my toe into the water for this video. Is she warned this guy that he was going to be killed, and he should have called Sung Jin-woo. He didn't call Sung Jin-woo, and it's very interesting. Like, this guy's just laying down in his bed, and this guy's house is massive. I haven't really checked on the different translations between things like he's a national protector hunter? Is he just, or is that like lower than a national rank? Like, is that one step, is that like the in-between between national rank and the normal hunters, like the S ranks, like this National Guard hunter? I can't remember the name. I'll have it down below, and that's it. And this guy's just like sleeping, and the explanation on what happens is that he can't hear anything. Like, he grabs a glass and he throws it, like a wine glass, and throws it, and it shatters, no noise. And that's like, he realizes something's going wrong, and he's definitely suspicious. And like, the artwork in this series is amazing. Like, just like the pajamas on this guy, it's like the artwork in this series is amazing. Like, tiny details that the artist doesn't even need to. Like most manga doesn't even have this good quality of artwork. And this is in color, so it takes even longer. And this is weekly. Well, I will defend Record of Ragnarok because that shit is amazing. But this stuff, Solo Leveling, is just the best artwork ever. And this guy is just walking around, and this guy is skilled, and he is definitely a guy who's not a noob, so he knows that something is going on. Like, he grabs a wine glass and just throws it because it's completely silent, and that's suspicious. And then there's like, he thinks back to the guys who came over to tell him about Sun Jianwu, and then there's these three guys. I think they are the monarchs. Now, because of the giant and the ruler, I thought that the monarchs would be the good guys, but I think it's going to be like a gray area. There are going to be some good monarchs and going to be some some good rulers. Because the series, we got like the rulers who seem to be the bad guys, but then you got the monarchs here doing weird stuff. Like there's this guy who's wearing like a cloak that reminds me of Kami ga Kill. No, not a Kami ga Kill. Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill. This outfit, it just reminds me of like one of those school uniforms in Kill la Kill. And like the red on the inside, it just reminds me of that. And then this guy, the main guy, is just looking around, looking straight down at this guy, and he knows about that there's basically two others behind him. But one of them is in fact from the first review I ever made, like this barbarian guy. He looks like a demi-human. Like that's the best way I can describe it. He looks human, but just a sub-race of human. And he can't understand their language because they're talking in monster. And you can easily tell when these guys are talking because their words are blacks. Thus, it's in a different language that nobody can read or listen to. And this guy is just like, what the hell are you saying? And then they say, we're not talking to you, we're talking to the guy inside of you. Basically is this guy sort of like Sun Jianwu and how a monarch is sealed within him, or something along those lines? Because I think that the architect is with the rulers, so I think the rulers are like the main antagonist in this series. And the rulers, if like the architect and like maybe the system was just created by the architects to like prepare Earth, or maybe Sun Jianwu will leave Earth and join the rulers to basically fight off the rulers. I mean the monarchs will join the monarchs to fight off the rulers. Although this guy, I wish I could show you guys this image. It's just like this guy starts transforming, like his eyes fuse together, his hair gets set on fire, his clothes burst. He gains like, it looks like a sea captain's hat, grows out of his skull, and it's called a spiritual body manifestation. I think that's what it's called. I'll check Tabby Tunes for the true translation. And they also mention it's very impressive for a human, and there's this chick. We haven't seen her before, and neither does the Kill la Kill guy, because this guy is barbarian guy. I'm just gonna call her Goth Babe, and Kill la Kill guy. Those are the names until we actually get their names. And when we get their names, I'm going to call them by their name. But right now, Goth chick, caveman, and Kill la Kill guy. And this guy looks awesome. Like he becomes like this giant flaming cyclops giant thing. And he says that if he's going, like this guy, he already accepts he's gonna die, and he's like, well, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take at least one of you down with me. Like, it's kind of like Oars in One Piece, and I have to think got that, now I'm sad. Oars in One Piece at Marineford, how he was being like basically wailed on, got shot, and then got basically attacked by the warlords and was on his last legs and basically being like, if I'm gonna go down, I'm taking at least one of them with me. And he goes after Doflamingo, which is not very smart. He cut off his foot, and I nearly cried at that scene. I basically, when I'm reading or watching something, I am a stone cold person. I barely cry, but I've nearly cried multiple times at something, and that is good. Oars at Marineford in general, I loved. It's my favorite arc in One Piece. Wano is pretty good. Like, One Piece is the series that I've nearly cried the most at. Like, I've never cried once in a series. Well, there's one movie I cried at, that was Pi's Island, Life of Pi. That was because animals died, and I was like 10 when I watched it. And I love animals, I love them, and it just broke me. Good movie. I'm just gonna say, Pi, good movie that I remember. Not gonna see it again. Animals dying, sad. And then this guy's, getting back to the chapter, the guy's house basically gets set on fire because of this. Because of him going into like this flaming Cyclops giant form, which looks awesome. Too bad next time we see this guy, he's got like all these holes punched into him, which is by I should mention this. Like, the Killer Kill guy, he was talking in monster language, but he was human. Well, at least he looked human. So, is there, like, humans in the monster realm? A human gate? Like, that could be possible. There are humans that go into the gate, and there could be humans on the other side. And maybe that's where humanity comes from. I don't know, you could throw that into the series. I could accept it. And then Sung Jin-woo hops on into I think a limo or a cab. It's one of the two. Very fancy. And like Beerus is basically being like, hey, show your subjects how awesome you are. Acknowledge them. And Sung Jin-woo is like, no, I don't need to do that. They're not my subjects. I just helped them out. And the next part is really good because we're on a plane. And I was watching this for a second and I was thinking, like, there's one panel that looks like, is that weed plants? I don't think they're weed, but for a second I did think it was weed. I think it might be it's definitely something different. Well, it could be weed, but I don't think we're going to come back to this part to basically zoom in on what this stuff is. And then we get to a really interesting part when we get to see Adam White. He was also from some chapters I reviewed, and Sung Jin-woo says, hey, it's nice to meet you, and Adam's like, oh, I'm surprised you remember me after we only met once, and then he thinks to himself, oh, I didn't remember your name, Beerus told me your name, so that's why I remember. And Beerus like, Master, you should really be more polite when you talk to him. And Beerus I love Beerus. I loved him when he was alive. I love him as a shadow. He like, all the shadows are best boys. The way I see the shadows are like the clones in Star Wars, the Clone Wars. They are awesome. They're all individuals that have their own personality, but they're all good. I know it's not the same, but that's how I think of these shadows. I can't, like, when I first saw them, it's like clicked to me. Oh, they're like the clones in Star Wars, the Clone Wars, which I haven't been able to shake ever since he gained the ability, Shadow Extraction. And we also get to see how powerful this guy was, because it took like 14 firefighters, 14 mage class hunters to basically put out the fire at his house. And also, this is where we see him like all punched up and the slash marks and basically his arm cut off and all burnt up. He's dead. But like, I think it was the goth chick who who sliced him up. I don't know, maybe it was the other guy. But those punch marks, that was from the Barbarian guy. I'm definitely saying that. And also, this guy, this is where the chapter gets good. This guy shows, Adam White, shows Sung Jin-woo who they think possibly did it. And he shows Sung Jin-woo a photo of his father, and this is like the first thing that Sung Jin-woo has ever heard about his dad, even still slightly being alive. And we actually get to see him. He looks pretty cool. He looks very much different, but this is like him with short hair and with shaven when he's shaved, because when we saw him he has long hair and very scruffy. So this must be, and he looks a lot like Sung Jin-woo, so I can't accept that this is his dad. And plus we've seen him on and off multiple times, like before the Giants and like at the beginning of the season, basically. And then we get Sung Jin-woo pissed because right now he's being told that his dad's alive and that he attacked a guy and killed a national ranked guy. And Sung Jin-woo, I just love this image. It's like, it reminds me of the Star Wars reference of like Darth Vader, like he's using his rule as authority to like grab him and float him up in the sky and crush him and kind of choke him. Well, Sung Jin-woo also uses the ability to crush the laptop in front of him, and he's like, if this is some kind of joke, you are not leaving here alive. Because this is understandable, and my theory is that Sung Jin-woo is slowly becoming less human over the series. And this is like, he's just pissed. And this guy basically gives the information that they found him in a dungeon, he defeated some of their S-class guys, destroyed a building, it was on national news. They haven't been able to find him, and they've been secretly looking for him, but at the big like meeting of all the main guilds across the world, they're going to basically put a hit out on his dad, and Sung Jin-woo calms down slightly. I'm still sure he's pissed. He's quite pissed off, and he still has like his white eyes, and he's like, why would you show me this photo? And he explains that Sung Jin-woo is going to America, and like the American gate has been dealt with. Like, I want to see Thomas more. He seems like really interesting. The best character that I can compare him to so far is that he reminds me of Kenpachi, Kenpachi is my favorite captain in like all of Soul Society, followed by Mayuri and basically Mayuri. I love those two. Those are my favorite captains in all of Bleach. And Bleach is coming back, so I might be able to see some of Kenpachi's best moments. Yeah, Bleach fans, if Kenpachi's your favorite character in Bleach, you are going to see Kenpachi's best fights in this entire series. And so far, and right now we're just setting up that Sung Jin-woo has to go to America and basically go to this meeting. Although it was set up beforehand that the Argent Guild is going, so that means Sung Jin-woo's brother, and probably Sung Jin-woo's brother, not brother, I mean best friend cousin is coming as well. And that's it for the chapter. This is a very interesting chapter. I'm just putting my toe basically in this series, and I just hope you guys enjoy it. I would love to put panels in this, but I am not testing that. And that's it. This is Wade Manga. I'm Angel Manga. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.